You have entered Alyx's world, a safe space for wrestling fans like you.
Hello all and welcome to Alyx's World, a safe space for wrestling fans like you. I am your host Alyx, just Alyx, and this is my AEW Full Gear 2023 pay-per-view review. Ladies and gentlemen, we had yet another banger pay-per-view special from All Elite Wrestling. You can say what you want about the weekly television. I've had my criticisms. I have shown no mercy towards Tony Khan and AEW in terms of the inconsistency of their weekly TV shows. And I will continue to do so. But when it comes to their pay-per-views, especially this year, I think the lineup of pay-per-views this year in 2023 might be the best. And I can wholeheartedly tell you, I thought this show, easily one of the best shows I've seen from AEW. That seems to be a theme throughout the year. Revolution, one of the best shows from AEW. Double or Nothing, one of the best shows from AEW. All In, one of the best shows, if not one of the greatest shows of all time from AEW. And then, of course, you had Forbidden Door, one of the best shows from AEW. Still thought last year's was a better show, perhaps one of the best shows they've ever done. And then, of course, Wrestle Dream, All Out, and now Full Gear. It's up there. Full Gear is going down, in my opinion, one of the best shows that AEW has done. This was outstanding. The crowd was hot. The in-ring action was outstanding. And look, let me go ahead and address it right now because a lot of people are talking about it. The main event, MJF and Jay White, is catching a lot of attention, and it's interesting because when I look on Twitter and I see the feedback that we're getting for the main event, it's a mixed bag. There are people that love it. There are people that hate it. I don't see many people in the middle. Can I be honest with you? What we got was exactly what I expected. And I've been following this since the feud started. It was a feud that from day one I was not that into. And although they had, a month plus to build to this match, when it was all said and done, I didn't really care about it. I was looking forward to it being done. Not at one point did I believe that Jay White was anywhere near ready to win that world title. Inside the ring, he did not compete. And I mean this, he did not compete against MJF. And I mean that in the most sincere, wholehearted way. I think Jay White is a great talent, but this feud with MJF has exposed him. It has exposed a lot of his weaknesses. He's great inside the ring, but on the microphone, he ain't there. As a character, he ain't there. And I feel like by the end of this show, even Tony Khan realized he wasn't there. Because if you saw how the main event was booked, I'm sorry, but it felt like MJF decided to take his vitamins and say his prayers, brother. Because when you're going up against the 24-inch pythons, brother, it doesn't matter what you do to Friedman Mania. You can break his leg, you can break his arm, but you can't break his spirit. So, Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, I got one question for you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when Friedman Mania and all the MJF Knights and all the Devil Knights run wild on you, brother. brother, 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 brother. That was a complete Hulk Hogan match. I don't care what y'all say. That was pure Hulk Hogan, brother. And look, I grew up watching Hulk Hogan matches. I love Hulk Hogan matches. I love seeing the babyface fight from underneath and face impossible odds, brother. And that's exactly what we got. That was sports entertainment to the T. And for what it was good. I mean, it was exactly what I expected. This entire feud was building to that. I don't know why people are upset. Why are you upset that you got what they were telling you were going to get? Now, I will admit it was a bit overbooked for my taste. I don't understand. There's a lot of things I don't understand. First off, so MJF got hurt on the pre-show, right? He got hurt defending the ROH titles with Samoa Joe against the Guns. Then after the match, the Guns attacked MJF, and he got instantly shipped off to the nearest facility, I suppose, whatever. He got taken off screen, and apparently Jay White was going to be awarded the world title by forfeit. And Tony Khan, and again, this is what bothers me. Tony Khan deemed MJF unfit to compete. He said he was injured. So you're not going to compete. That's it. So what does he do? He decides to book a match between Adam Cole and Jay White when Adam Cole is not physically able to compete. What? Like, yeah, okay. So then we get to the main event, and then MJF just comes back and then does the match anyways, which makes me think, wait. So wait a second. If MJF was just going to do the match anyways, why were you ready to take the belt off of him? Also, when MJF was coming out to the ring, you saw all of those paramedics and people backstage trying to stop him from getting to the ring. Where were they when Adam Cole was going to the ring? Like, this was backwards as fuck. I'm sorry. This whole thing, this entire feud with MJF and Jay White, it just has my brain just going, what was the point of all this? Because I have to question, what was the point of doing this feud? Because at the end of it, it didn't make Jay White feel like a main eventer. It made Jay White feel like he wasn't ready, and he's not ready. You just gave him the belt, had him hold it for months, and then when he got to the pay-per-view, he had the help of the Guns. MJF was injured. He used a championship belt, and he had access to the diamond ring, and he still lost. And he still lost.
That Hangman vs. Swerve match should have been the main event. The rest of the show could measure up to that match.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it. Trust me. I just gotta get this off my chest. What was the point of this feud? This entire Jay White MJF this entire feud was filler. It literally was filler. It did nothing for either man. I'm more interested in seeing MJF do a feud with Samoa Joe, which he is gonna do. Eventually get into a feud with Wardlow, which he will do. And then eventually get into a feud with Adam Cole, who's the devil. And then, of course, Adam Cole and his cohorts, which will be Roderick Strong, The Kingdom, and hopefully Kyle O'Reilly. But I'm interested in that. This feud with Jay White, I wasn't interested in it from day one. And coming out of it, I still don't care. I don't care. Look, I think Jay White is a great talent. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he is a failure in AEW. No, quite frankly, I think there's a lot that can still be done with him. This feud with MJF did him no favors. When it's all said and done, this feud was a complete bust. And I'm not going to say it buried Jay White, But it did make me care less about him when it was all said and done. I was just like, all right, well, you're clearly a mid-carder. You are not a main event player. You're not ready. You need some work. He does. He needs work. But there'll be another time and another place for Jay White to get in that main event scene. And hopefully, he'll be against someone that actually makes him look good. And see, this is why I miss someone like a CM Punk, because I feel like a CM Punk would have brought the best out of a Jay White and elevated him to that level where we can all say, yeah, main event material. But nah, I do not believe. I'm sorry. I don't believe when the show ended. When the show ended.
Hangman vs. Swerve was the real main event. MJF vs. White was a Roman Reigns match.
Essentially, when the show ended, I just really felt like, well, now we can get to the real stuff. And Jay White can go back to just being a mid-carder on Collision. And maybe that's just what it is. He'll get there. I think Jay White would eventually get his feud or his momentum back. But in the meantime, yeah. I just don't. I just didn't care. So, other than the main event, literally other than the main event, the rest of the show was bonkers. Outstanding. Let me tell you something. Even the pre-show, 0 Hour. 0 Hour was good. 0 Hour had Eddie Kingston, Jay White for the ROH World title. Claudio Castagnoli versus Buddy Matthews, which was a banger. And then, of course, the Ring of Honor tag titles with Samoa Joe and MJF tagging to go against the Guns. And that match was fun. I was already excited. And then they kicked the show off. They kicked this show off with Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Cole having one of the best entrances I've seen. So awesome. You had the 3 bats, and then you had the coordination face paints, and that was really, really, really cool. But that match was awesome. Ric Flair got a low blow and took a bump. It wasn't like a big bump, but he took a bump from Christian Cage, and Christian Cage bailed. That boy ran like a scalded dog away from Adam Copeland. Man, I cannot wait for them to have a match. That feud is going to be phenomenal. I can't wait for that Adam Copeland and Christian match. They're doing a great job of making me want to see it. Papa Christian, if you will. Orange Cassidy and John Moxley had a crazy banger of a match. I think their all-out match was better, but this one was still an awesome match. Still an awesome match. Timeless Toni Storm is now your new women's champ. Three-time women's champ. Hikaru Shida gets her love, but I'm sorry, it's Toni Storm's time. And man, Mariah May? Babe. Absolute babe. I'm getting some Mickie James and Trish Stratus vibes, if you know what I mean. That ladder match was insane. The Fatal 4-Way ladder match, we'll talk about it in detail, spot by spot. Julia Hart! Congratulations to Julia Hart, who is now the new TBS champ, the most improved wrestler all year. I remember what she looked like when the year started. It wasn't good. And by the end of it, she's TBS champ, and I feel like, yeah, she's ready. Man, I love the character, love her in-ring style, and apparently she's doing something with Sky Blue where it feels like Sky Blue is slowly but surely turning to the dark side and becoming her minion, which I like. I love that. That's good. Gives them a story. And then eventually we'll do Sky Blue versus Julia Hart, and then maybe Sky Blue can be TBS champ. Cool with that too. Okay. Let me talk about this match before we get to the match of the night. Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, the Golden Jets had a really good match. An awesome match with the Young Bucks. And I love the fact that after the match, you saw the Young Bucks just throw a temper tantrum, and it feels like the Elite is split up. Like they're completely moving on from the Elite, which honestly, it might be time for something new. No, not might be. It is time for something new. We need something new. Because I love the Elite. Thank you so much for helping us begin All Elite Wrestling. But y'all been together for a little too long. Let's do something different.
Alyx, I think TK should have had Juice and Jay White win the tag titles 4 months ago when they faced FTR on Collision.
Honestly, that's where they should be. Jay White and Juice as tag team champs, that feels right. Or at least Jay White as international champ? Maybe TNT champ? Sure. Yeah, that's kind of where he should be. But not world champ. He ain't ready to win that world title. What I thought, without question, was the match of the night. What people are going to be talking about when it comes to Full Gear 2023, and what is going to be the most violent match that I have seen. Now, think about this for a minute, okay? Think about all of the violent matches we've seen. Think about Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley from the first Full Gear. The first Full Gear in 2019. Think about all of the blood and guts matches. Think about all of the crazy mayhem, pandemonium matches, Stadium Stampede matches. Think about Jon Moxley versus Hangman Page from earlier this year, which before this match, that was the most violent match I've seen. And this one somehow, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but this one somehow managed to top it. Think about every violent match that you could possibly, and I mean possibly, conceive in AEW. And then realize, Anarchy in the Arena even. All of them. All of the Anarchy in the Arena matches. Now, with all that in mind, what if I told you none of them came anywhere close to how violent this Texas Death Match was? The Texas Death Match between Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland, without question to me, has to be the most violent AEW match in history. Hell, you know what? I'll take it one step further. It is one of the most violent matches I have ever seen in my life. And I've seen CZW matches. I've seen ECW matches. I've seen all kinds of indie, Glass 2, GCW, bad for TV, terrible, don't wake your kids up to make them watch this because it'll traumatize them kind of matches. I've seen them all. This one right here, this was the match that made me go, oh man, now this is violent. There were a good 3 moments in the match that even made me go, okay, that's too far. Okay, that's too far. Stop. Stop it. That's too far. Y'all know at least one of them. And apparently, Hangman Page is a vampire. And that was one of the moments, by the way. That sick freak. The 3 moments, I guarantee you, y'all can name them. Some of you are going to go, wait, only 3? I know. But there are 3 moments in this match where I, as a wrestling fan that's been watching this for 25 years, went, oh nah, that's too much. That's too much for me. Which is good. If you can make me go, that's too much, you're on the right track. Swerve Strickland, he's the man. Swerve Strickland is a main event player. Swerve Strickland ain't no one's bitch. And I'm so happy they gave him the victory here. Because I was scared they were going to do a 50-50 booking where Hangman got his win back. Nah. Swerve absolutely dominated Hangman Page. Swerve is him. I'm ready for that Swerve Strickland push. It's been a long time coming. Homeboy, again, another moment that made me go, that's too much. Homeboy was looking like the Joker at one point in this match. And I'm not kidding you. You know what moment I just mentioned? Homeboy was laughing, doing all kind of just rated R, if I can say that. Maybe even worse stuff to himself. And I was just like, bruh, give him the world title. Give him the world title. And I know a lot of people are going to hate the match because they're saying, oh, it's too much blood, it's too violent. Let me tell you something. That match, to me, was a great example of how you can be violent, still tell a great story, and still have a top quality match. Because of the story that they were having, because of where they took the feud, the level of violence that we got matched it. And I think a lot of times, my issue with a lot of these stories, especially with WWE, is that you get us to a point where the story is hot, and you say, Hell in a Cell, or Falls Count Anywhere, or I Quit, and we're thinking, yeah, this fits. And then we get the match, and then it's not violent. It's actually pretty bad. Remember the Terry Funk hardcore tribute match? Rest in peace, Terry Funk. We got on SmackDown. And I get that, it was a tribute to Terry Funk and blah, 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 and all that jazz. But nah, man, that's what I'm talking about. You tell us wrestling is violent. Don't try this at home. You want us to respect what these men and women do. But then you do these matches that feel like anyone can just do them. This is the kind of match that makes people go, okay, I will never in my life be able to do what these men do. This is the kind of match, after you watch it, you have the utmost respect for everyone involved. For Hangman Page, for Swerve Strickland, for everyone that took a bump in that match. If you want wrestling to be respected, you need to have matches like this. Unless, War Games, this upcoming week on Saturday, which will have no blood. And that to me is what's going to bother me about War Games coming up. War Games needs to be one of the most violent matches you've seen. Unfortunately, because it's WWE, you just know it's not going to meet the level of violence it needs to. Especially the level of violence we got tonight. There's no way. But that's just what it is. That's the advantage of AEW. AEW can, will, and always does go there. WWE won't. They just won't. AEW will. AEW will. And I cannot wait to see where this goes with Swerve. I'm ready for Swerve to win a title. Nah, screw that. I'm ready for Swerve to win the world title. Although I know Adam Cole is going to be the one to dethrone MJF eventually because he's the devil. Spoiler alert. Swerve needs to win that belt. He needs to be the one to get that belt. Especially after the night. Tonight was just incredible. What an incredible main event. It wasn't the main event. Incredible Texas Deathmatch. The main event, though, was, it is what it is. But, hey, you know what? That's just my opinion. We're going to go ahead and get into the show. We're going to do the shout-outs. We're going to do the preliminary stuff. Plugs. Sponsorship. Get some super chats in. And then we'll get right to the show. We're going to do a full breakdown of what we got, the matches and everything. And I hope you guys stick around to hear me talk about it. But thank you all so much for joining me. I appreciate you for being here. Hey, If this is the first time you're watching me, do me a solid favor. Like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Wow, you're at it. Help expand the brand by doing the following things. Join the membership. Click that join button and get the opportunity to request a video of your choosing, whether it's a live reaction, a hot topic, or a review past, present, or future. Also, don't forget to give thanks. Hit that super thanks. If you would like to donate after the fact, you can. Also, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, just Alyx Central. Give me a follow on Instagram, give me a follow on Spotify, give me a follow on TikTok. For I am the tickest of the talkist. Donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, Venmo, and yes, Super Chats are officially on. You can donate at any point in time during the broadcast to get your thoughts made live on the air. Email me at justalyxsworld@gmail.com for business inquiries, just to say hi and please get yourself a t-shirt today. Pro Wrestling Tees at Teespring. Get you an old school Deluxe Man t-shirt. Get you a new school Alyx's World t-shirt. But most importantly, get you a blonde hair, blue eyes, apple pie. My, America, the remix. T-shirt made by It's J Knox and Firestar Heart. All this down below in the description box. Today's sponsor, the biggest sponsor in the world, at least in my opinion, they have sponsored the entire week. SeatGeek for AEW. AEW is SeatGeek, and SeatGeek is all elite. I can get you $20 off for any ticket purchase you get off of SeatGeek. All you gotta do is use the promo code JustAlyx. For more details, let's get a quick word from our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. If you're a wrestling fan looking for access to great seats for any wrestling event near you, then you want to use this app. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek stands as the unrivaled #1 ticketing app in the market today. SeatGeek constantly delivers incredible deals on ticket prices. When you're exploring the app, keep an eye out for the special green dots that mark the best deals. What's even better is that every ticket you purchase is backed by SeatGeek's buyer guarantee, with the option to return your tickets and even swap them before the events. So here's an exclusive for you. If you click the link down below and use the promo code JustAlyx, you can get $20 off your first purchase. Yes, $20 off any ticket that you purchase using the promo code JustAlyx. This is a sweet deal that you could use literally right now. So don't wait. Click the link, download the app, and join the SeatGeek family today. Love the people here, love the energy. So let's go ahead and make this quick. Show some love to the moderators. Ultra Shine Nice and Firestar Heart, Elias, Adiba, New Japan Pro Wrestling Girl, Khalil does everything, who help keep us a safe space for wrestling fans like you. And of course, Big MGM. Big MGM in the his house. Good to have you here. Speaking of Big MGM is saying how to kill a main eventer. A main eventer's credibility in one night. Andre MJF constantly have the Guns interfere and cheating his dang ass off. And Jay White still loses. It be like that sometimes. I mean, what you gonna do? I already told you. They booked him like a Mick Carter. They didn't make us take him seriously. So guess what happened? He lost. They could have booked him stronger, but they didn't. What you gonna do? It is what it is. Now, I also see them likes. Some likes are pretty low for the people here. Got close to 100 people in this thing, but we only have how many likes? 51 likes. Y'all get these likes up. Hit that like button. The more you like the video, the more opportunities I will be given to be recommended here on YouTube. So help boost that algorithm by hitting that like button. We really appreciate that. Alright, let's get these shout outs in. Let me see who we got here in the live chat. Right off the top, we got Highway Dylan Danger. Dylan Danger. Good to have you here, sir. Former Super Chat champ and YouTube member, nickname My. It seems like half the people despise the main event and half the people love it. Let me tell you something, brother. If you watch Hulk Hogan, brother, and you're a fan of old school wrestling, brother, then you can appreciate it, brother.
'Cause you are my love. Do you ever dream of candy coated raindrops? You're the same like
I'm a geek in need of seats. Thank you, Alyx. Tears of joy.
Oh, you're welcome. Be sure to use the promo code. It helps the brother out. If you don't mind, I really appreciate that. Franklin Torres, have you seen the Super Chat champ will be defending his belt next Saturday, and I believe that will be the last time he defends the belt until the Royal Rumble next year. So I'm very curious what will happen. Can he keep the belt before Rumble next year? So far, he's been a strong champion, but he's got one more obstacle. Let's see if he can make it happen. Debit. Money, 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 money. Money. Debit Money Adams. JJ. Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? JJ Bulldog. We got 5-star. Good to see you, 5-star. Lord Cosmo. That's a new one. Fairly Odd Parents, Cosmo? Odd Parents, Very Odd Parents. I think I can make something out of that. We'll figure it out. Where are we at? I lost my place. Gorilla Strong. Andre Benson. Andre has been donating his butt off. Thank you so much. Valhalla Erickson. Another one that's been donating. Uh-oh. You love to see it. We got Mr. Anthony White. Matthew Anktil. John Bill II. KC for life. Wrestling Takes. Good to have you here, KC. Thank you so much for being here. Mr. Unfamiliar. YouTube member, Mr. Unfamiliar. Showing his love as always. Always good to see you here, sir. We got You Dropped the Funk on Me, baby. You dropped P-Funk on me. Paid Enthusiast, P-Funk, in his house. Juan Herrera. He says his girl, Julia Hart, won the title. Yes, she did. Your girl did win. Let's do 3 more. King Gamer Worldwide. Good to have you here. Shadow Star, of course. And then last but not least, let's give it to McNeil99. Thank you all so much for being here. If I don't say your name, it's not because I hate you. It literally is, hey, we have a lot to get to. I'm probably going to run a little bit longer than I anticipated because I haven't even gotten to the review yet. And I'm already, about to hit an hour. And then we got Super Chats just waiting to be played. Just waiting to be coming. Waiting to be coming. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, baby. Pause. Waiting to be played. So, I don't know why they haven't played yet. I'm pretty sure they should have played by now, but I mean, I can just start the review and just let them play throughout the stream. You know what? I'm in a good mood. I'm not going to turn off Super Chats for tonight. I'm going to just let them play. I'm going to let them play. Whatever you want to say, have the floor. I'm going to stop, and I'm going to let you say what you need to say. But only for one night. Now, when we get to Survivor Series next week and we get the Super Chat Championship going, I'm going to have to be a little bit more organized.
Prince Nana and his Fly Girls was the second best entrance of the night.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Everything about Swerve and Hangman was the best thing of the night. Even the entrances. It was phenomenal. Just great, great stuff all around. And you love to see it. You love to see the wrestlers having fun and the crowd having fun. And I will talk about the crowd too, because I did appreciate their energy throughout the night as well. I see that the media scrum. All right, McNeil99 with his first donation, I believe. $1.99. Is that your first donation ever? It is. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate the love. Looking forward to more donations from you. Can't wait to see what you got in store for me. All right, let's get right to it. Media Scrum is happening right now. I have not seen any updates or reveals, but I will be keeping it open. I currently have my Twitter open, and I am following the Media Scrum through Denise Hollywood Salcedo. Denise was on the channel doing an interview with me a while ago. Might have to get her back, by the way. So far, it's just been Will Ospreay, Julia Hart, and MJF. That's basically it. I don't think anyone else has basically talked yet, but those of you who are listening in, if anything crazy happens, let me know in the live chat and we're going to talk about it. Congratulations to AEW Full Gear for selling out the Kia Forum. The Kia Forum, they did a great job. They got a great crowd in Los Angeles. Actually, is it Inglewood? I don't care. It's LA. It's not that far from LA. Great crowd. Huge audience. Loud throughout the entire night. The energy was contagious, and that's what I want to see. That's what I love to see. I love seeing a crowd that's excited for a show. And they sold everything. There wasn't one match they were tired for. There were points in time where you can tell they needed a break, but I love that the show was structured well enough to allow them to have that break and allow them to do it in matches that gave them that break. So I appreciate the structure of the show because other than the main event, which went a little too long, I was doing real fine. I was not even looking at the clock. I was like, let's keep going. You know a show is good when you're not looking at the clock and instead you're in such a good mood, you're having such a good time, you don't want it to end. That's the sign of a great pay-per-view, a great show. You don't care what time it is. You're enjoying yourself so much, you don't want it to end. Right? That's the whole point of the product. That's the whole point of wrestling. You need to get so invested in what you're watching that you don't care. Your mind is not thinking about anything else. And that to me is something that we need to get back to when it comes to wrestling. Not just AEW, but overall. WWE, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling. Create shows that make people forget about what's going on. We're here. We're talking about. We're seeing great wrestling. We're talking about it. We're tweeting about it. That's what matters. And I thought AEW Full Gear did just that. Let me go ahead and run through these pre-show matches really quickly. Eddie Kingston defeated Jay White to retain his Ring of Honor World Championship. Also, it has been revealed that Eddie Kingston will be in the AEW Continental Classic. And here's the kicker. He will be, and I'm not kidding you, he will be defending both the Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling Openweight Championships in every match. Meaning, if he loses a match, whoever beats him is the Ring of Honor Openweight Champ. Seriously. Ring of Honor World and Openweight Champs. Now, keep this in mind. Someone could beat Eddie Kingston, and then those belts can again be beat, can go to someone else, and then Eddie can fight that person later on and get the belts back. So, just letting you know, it is a round robin kind of tournament. It's not one of those, all right, well, they beat him, they're eliminated. No, it's a round robin, meaning there is no elimination. You win by points, right? So I'm excited to watch how that plays into things. I think I also saw that Mark Briscoe, right? Mark Briscoe is also going to be in the tournament. Now, I did tweet about it, but I think they might have changed their minds because somewhere later on in the show, when Nigel McGuinness was announcing the participants, he only said there was 3. And I was like, wait, I thought Mark Briscoe was in. He said, nope, there's only 3. Bryan Danielson, Andrade, and Eddie Kingston. All right, I don't care if he's in it or not. I just want to know who's in it. Now, Mark Briscoe being in the tournament would be perfectly fine. He's a sympathy pick. He's not going to win, but definitely could get some wins to get people to care about him. I'd be up for that. Claudio Castagnoli had a great match with Buddy Matthews. He won, as you would expect, but these two tore it up. Fun match, pay-per-view quality, as you would expect on the pre-show. If anything else, that is already crazy enough that we got pay-per-view quality matches on the freaking pre-show. And then, of course, MJF with Samoa Joe took on the Guns. Guns up! And Samoa Joe was loved, absolutely adored by the Los Angeles fans. He helped MJF retain his and Adam Cole's Ring of Honor titles. During the match, Adam Cole made an appearance. He came out on crutches, but he made an appearance. And his presence was felt throughout the entire night. So MJF and Samoa Joe do retain the belts, and then afterwards, the Guns attack MJF and essentially injure his ankle. Like, they straight up wiener dogged this boy, and he had to get taken off to the hospital, where we all just assumed, well, I guess that's it, right? That's it for MJF, right? Well, we all knew what was going to happen. As soon as he got taken off, I'm already thinking to myself, okay, so he's going to be back in time for the main event. Now, how we get there, we don't know. I'm thinking to myself, all right, they're going to have to do something to stall this. Maybe they do something where if MJF doesn't show up, then they just award Jay White the victory, and then MJF shows up at the last second and goes, psych! Right? What they do is ridiculous, but it's in line with what I thought was going to happen. So before we get to the actual show, I got to give a shout out to the lovely people. The lovely people from Reaction Town. Everybody stop what you're doing. Everybody get ready to put your hands up and then bow to who I believe are the best reaction wrestling fans here on the YouTube space. Everyone show your love to A&B Convo's Wrestling Edition. And as they said, hit that like button. And he got jokes. Look at this. He said, hell of a 10-hour show. He's hilarious. Give it to him. He's right. It's a 10-hour show, but damn. I mean, damn. And I see that you're already showing him love, so I like it. I like it.
Alyx, I did more research about TK's tweet. The Continental Championship is a trophy, not an actual title belt. Just like the Owen Hart Cup.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's going to be a trophy. By the way, J Ray, is that your first donation? Because I don't think you've donated before. Maybe you have, and it was like a long time ago, but if that is, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But yeah, I believe I told everyone, even in a short, that it was going to be a trophy. It's not a championship. It's a trophy and then a shot at the World Championship if you win. So it's like the G1 Climax, if anything. One of the big things about this show that everyone was talking about, who is the big signing? Who, ladies and gentlemen, was going to be the next big name to be signed by AEW? You already brought in Adam Copeland. Apparently, they're going to bring in Mercedes Moné, just not right now, because she's still healing up. Ronda Rousey was in talks. We all thought it was going to be her, but nah, she's not signed. She's just doing a handshake deal. That was reported today by Fightful Select that Ronda Rousey is working under a handshake deal. So she's working as long as she wants to work, which is great. I'm not even going to front about that. If she wants to continue working with Ring of Honor talent or AEW talent until she just says, I don't want to work no more, cool. Cool with me. But yeah, Ronda Rousey is also working under Tony Khan, which is crazy. It's crazy to think about it, but all right, well, when it comes to best professional wrestlers in the world, that list was getting smaller and smaller. It can only be one person. It can only be a go-to person. Nah, I'm joking. Nah, it's not CM Punk. Shit. Hey, eventually we're going to move on from him, but we got one more week. We got people assuming he's going to either be on Dynamite this Wednesday because we're in Chicago, or at Survivor Series on Saturday because that's also in Chicago. Once we're past those days and we realize that CM Punk is not going to show up, we'll move on. But anyways, it was not CM Punk that showed up tonight. The man that AEW is signing is Will Ospreay. Congratulations to, yes, one of the best wrestlers in existence today. a hell of an athlete. If you've seen any of his matches in New Japan Pro Wrestling, you already know this is huge. You know this guy is going to be massive. He is going to change the entire game. The entire game. I honestly wish he was already signed, because someone like him being in the Continental Classic, ooh, would have been nice. So here's the downside. He can't wrestle for New Japan Pro. He can't wrestle for AEW until he's done with his New Japan Pro Wrestling contract, and his New Japan Pro Wrestling contract won't expire until February, which means we won't see Will Ospreay until, at the earliest, AEW Revolution. It'd be like that sometimes, and that's fair. Let New Japan Pro Wrestling use them to their full capacity until they're done with them, and then eventually we can have them to ourselves. But I'm not tripping about it. I'm not mad about it. It is what it is. It is what it is. That being said, though, him being signed is huge. WWE has been trying to get him. They've been trying really, really hard to get Will Ospreay. And I guarantee you, seeing him with AEW did not make WWE happy. That did not make WWE happy whatsoever. So, Will Ospreay's going to have a great run. You already know Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega one more time. Will Ospreay versus Hangman Page. Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland. Will Ospreay versus Keith Lee. Will Ospreay versus Darby Allin. Will Ospreay versus Sting. Will Ospreay versus... Well, we can't do him and Sting because Sting's retiring. Damn. Sad. It's really sad. Will Ospreay versus... Oh my God, I'd be here all day. I don't want to say Jay White because he's already fought Jay White. Who hasn't he fought? Eddie Kingston. Will Ospreay versus Jon Moxley. Will Ospreay versus Penta. Cedro Miedo. Oh my God, the entire roster is ready for him. And Will Ospreay versus Adam Copeland. Will Ospreay versus Christian. Will Ospreay versus I'd be here all day. Jesus Christ, there's so many classic matches that Will Ospreay can have, and we're only talking about the people who are here. Because we're already getting other WWE talent. I didn't even mention Dolph Ziggler or Nick Nemeth. What about Shelton Benjamin? Yeah, man, we're look here. 2024 is going to be fire for AEW. I can't wait, especially if we're getting Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson's last year there. Man, things are about to pick up. Things are going to pick up big time. Bruv. Yeah, bruv. Bruv, it's gonna pick up, bruv. It's going to be a great year for AEW. All right, let's get to the actual show. The opening contest was a 6-man tag trios match. Adam Copeland, Darby Allin, and Sting, the Stinger, who had his last match ever in California, at least in the California town, took on Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. Loved the entrance for Team Adam Copeland or Team Sting. They all came out in trench coats. They had their face paints coordinated. You had Sting with the full face paint. You had Darby Allin with the, I think it's the half right, and then Edge with the half left. And it's really, really cool to see them coordinate their outfits like that. That was really awesome. The entire match, Christian just avoided Adam Copeland, because that's the ultimate match. You want to tease that match. Don't let it happen until Revolution, if that. Keep them as far away from each other until then. Let them just continue to run and run and run, because eventually Edge has to fight, Adam Copeland has to fight Christian. Eventually. But it ain't going to be now. You tease it. But I love that Christian, who's about to be the daddy of the year, Papa Christian, basically let his sons out to dry, hung them out to dry for Darby, Sting, and Adam to pick up the scraps, pick the bones, and get the victory. So where does that lead? I have no idea. We'll figure that one out. Because eventually, when Adam Copeland and Christian are done with their feud, they're going to be tag teams. They're going to be a tag team. And they even said that once Edge does that tag team run with Christian, he's going to retire for good. Because that's what he wants to do. He wants that tag team run with Christian. And then once that tag team run is done, he's going to retire. And I think that would be a great way to retire. So congratulations to Adam Copeland for getting the victory here. And let's see where the storyline goes. I mean, I'm very intrigued. And also, really quickly, Darby Allin will eventually start training to climb Mount Everest sometime next year. I didn't do my research on it, but let me see something really quickly. Let me see. How long does it take to climb Mount Everest? It is a 19-day round trip. But it takes an average of 40 days. Okay. 40 days. 2 months, essentially, to climb Mount Everest. 19 days plus 40 days. Okay, that's essentially 2 months, yeah. Man, so he's going to spend 2 months climbing that thing. All right, Darby, don't die. I'm serious. Like, I love Darby, and he's crazy as hell, and that's why we love him, but I don't want him to die climbing on Mount Everest. Like, if he's going to die, do it inside the ring. I know that sounds stupid and super violent, but still, like, I'd rather that than him saying, I'm going to go climb a mountain, and then that's the last time we hear of him. Nah, man. Sorry, Darby. We can't lose you, Darby. We can't lose you to no damn mountain. I ain't gonna have it. And by the way, speaking of Darby being nuts, there was a spot during the match, and I gotta talk about this, where Luchasaurus did a choke slam to the outside of the ring with Darby. Darby took that choke slam and bumped his ass all over the ring apron, and it looked like he broke his neck, which is essentially what Darby looks like, just existing. But still, it looked like he really hurt himself on that bump, and it was scarry. Not scary, but scarry. Really, really, really scarry. Scarry. Man, but yeah. Team Sting wins the first match, though. That Darby bump was nuts. Not gonna have much to say about this one. Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley. If you enjoyed their match at All Out, this one was... I won't say it was better. It was probably just as good, if not just a tad bit less good, but I love the idea of Orange Cassidy struggling against Jon Moxley. Here's my thing. Was the match awesome? Yes. Did it make Orange Cassidy look like a beast? Absolutely. And I think that's what's important here. He came out looking like a main event player. Here's the thing. I liked the story that Orange Cassidy could not beat Jon Moxley. It reminded me of Tommy Dreamer and Raven. No matter how hard Tommy Dreamer tried, he could not beat Raven. And then when he beat Raven, that was it. Like, that was the end of the story. And Tommy Dreamer felt like that's the one person I wish I could have never beat. And the same thing goes for CM Punk and Samoa Joe. I think what gave these characters that edge is that they had these people, no matter how hard they tried, they just could not beat. And I wanted Jon Moxley to be that for Orange Cassidy. I wanted Orange Cassidy to face Jon Moxley 10,000 times and do all kinds of matches if for some reason he just couldn't beat him. And then they said, nah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to have him beat Jon Moxley here. And that's what happened. So I do have to wonder, if Jon didn't get hurt, what was going to be the story? Was Orange Cassidy supposed to beat Jon Moxley at All Out and then just beat him again at Full Gear? Weird story. But alright. I mean, it all worked out in the end. Orange Cassidy retains. Oh, lovely day. Timeless Toni Storm took on Hikaru Shida, the former women's champion. I say former because Timeless Toni Storm is now once again your AEW Women's Champ, a 3-time AEW Women's Champ, one of two, Hikaru Shida being the other one. Match was good. Lots of antics. Speaking of Hulk Hogan, there was a lot of character traits that Toni Storm took from Hogan. She took the "you, brother." She took the wind-up punch, brother. And that wind-up punch was beautiful. I remember back in the day when Hogan would hold him by the head, right? And then he would wind up the punch and then knock their asses out. Oh, that's what Toni Storm did. When she did that, I laughed my ass off. That was so good. I loved it. Hikaru Shida worked fine. I liked that they were playing off of Emi Sakura's chops from last night, which is good because Emi Sakura trained Hikaru Shida. So Toni Storm beat her using a steel plate that she put in her butt. I mean, she put in her clothes around her butt, and then she did the hip attack and completely screwed up Hikaru Shida's face. How about that? Hikaru Shida showed some violence, though. She got violent against Luther. She beat up Luther with the candlestick. But Toni Storm wins with the plated hip attack. And by the way, I like that when, at the end, when it looked like she was getting ready to botch, she backed up, and she felt like the plate was going down her leg, and so she adjusted. So it looked like she was digging in her butt. And it felt like it worked because it was in character. And then she did the hip attack, and then she beat Hikaru Shida. But I love that when she hit the hip attack, you can see the plate roll down her leg, and then the referee had to pretend she didn't see it. It was hilarious. But yeah, Toni Storm is once again your AEW Women's Champ. Afterwards, you saw fine-ass Mariah May show up. Man! Where they find her from? Y'all, Mariah May is fine. She finer than a motherfucker. She finer than a motherfucker. And I mean, she is fine. Fine. Like, damn. In those jeans. Okay, sorry. Yeah, she was. Look here. If we doing Mickie James and Trish Stratus with these two ladies, HLA all day, baby. Let's go. Come on, give it to me. I love it. I want to see these two interact more. And Mariah May, y'all, she got a beautiful accent. I know it's British, but there's something about that accent that makes me go, whee! Okay, I'll move on. We got it. Okay, I know y'all got it, but still, Mariah May, fine as hell. Ooh, this four-way ladder match. LFI, Ricky Starks, Big Bill, who's 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that. Bada boom! FTR and the House of Black. Look here. This was bonkers. Balls to the wall, fast pace, chaos. Chaotic ladder match, which is exactly what I wanted. We didn't have a chance to breathe. We did not have a chance to breathe in this match. From Jump Street, from the word go, from the moment the bell rung, this match was insane. And I mean that. It was outstanding in all the best ways. I mean, look, I didn't necessarily write down spot for spot, but I can talk about some things I liked. First off, can we talk about a freaking pile driver on a ladder? Yeah. Freaking Cash Wheeler did a pile driver. Was it on freaking, was it Aleister? Malachi Black? I think it was. Yeah, Malachi Black took a freaking avalanche pile driver on the ladder. Yeah, it was as brutal as it sounded. It was sick. Okay, the big man, big boys. Big, meaty man slapping me. Big Bill and Brody King, one half of the House of Black, are the Kings of the Black Throne, 1/3 of the House of Black. Brody King and Big Bill, when they got in there, the crowd just went nuts with meat chants. Me. You love to see it. There was a spot in there where Roosh, by the way, the crowd loved them some Roosh. He did the bull's horn into the ladder with Big Bill on the other side. That looked like it was nasty. Jalisco was doing all kind of high-flying stuff. But to me, what made me go, oh, was this, I think it was like a Fire Thunder Driver from Brody King. A Fire Thunder Driver through a bridged ladder. So he had Dralistico on his shoulders, and he had to walk across this bridged ladder on the outside. And I'm thinking he's too fucking big, it's gonna break. So he got 2 steps in and said, fuck this. And then drops Dralistico on the ladder, and it looked like he broke his neck. It was nasty. It was crazy, bruh. Ricky Starks eventually gets inside the ring. Him and Big Bill get the belts and retain. So Ricky Starks and Big Bill are still your tag team champs, but this match was... Look here. You didn't get a chance to breathe. You weren't allowed to breathe. You had to watch it and then sit there and go, damn. Exactly how great this match was. It was an awesome, awesome ladder match. I'm happy they made a ladder match too, because it being a fatal 4-way was good, but a ladder match was even better. Julia Hart, Chris Statlander, and Sky Blue, TBS Championship. This was the match that the fans were just like, all right, we're going to take a break. Oh, catch our breath. Because they needed it. But good match. Story is Julia Hart still has some control. We don't know what kind of control, but some control over Sky Blue. And Sky Blue is slowly but surely becoming her minion as time goes by. And Julia Hart got the victory over Chris Statlander and is now your new TBS champ, the most improved wrestler of the entire year. Julia Hart started off not so good inside the ring. She was not, and I repeat, not good at all. At all. And then it's like within days, overnight, she was a good professional wrestler. I was just like, man, she's doing moonsaults. Her stuff looks good. She bumps great. Holy crap. And she has a great character. And they made her a champ. I'm like, yes, ma'am. I'm cool with that. Let's see what happens. She already has a story with Sky Blue. Where is that going? They might do Sky Blue and Julia Hart in the future. Maybe Sky Blue can win the championship. I thought it was great. I enjoyed myself. Oh boy. Is it next? Yep, it's next. So before I get started, give it up. Give it up. Give it up. Come on. Give it up. Man, look here. Swerve. Whose house? I had a feeling. I even said in my preview and predictions, I said this was going to be match of the night. But man, I was not expecting it to be as violent as it was. The violence, look here. I have seen my share of violent matches. ECW, barbed wire rope matches, freaking CZW, GCW, any kind of indie-rific, hardcore wrestling, glass tube, glass panels, Lucha Underground. One of them involving Dante Fox and Swerve, who was kill shot. That match, the ambulance match. It was Hell of War, excuse me. Hell of War match. That super, super graphic. Super, super violent. It was crazy. Then you got AEW's violent matches. You had a Texas Death match between Hangman Page and Jon Moxley earlier this year, which was crazy, crazy violent. Then you had the Anarchy in the Arena matches. You had the Blood and Guts matches. You're thinking to yourself, it can't get any more violent than those matches. And then Hangman Page said, hold my fucking beer. Where do I start with this? Where do you want to start? Where do you want to start with this match? Okay, let's start from the beginning. Hangman Page doesn't do the entrance. He says, screw the entrance. I'm gonna jump inside this ring and start whipping his ass. He bolts to the ring. No music. All punches. Powerbomb. Instantly. Buckshot. Instantly. And then he grabs a roll of duct tape. Binds it around Shane's wrists, his hands. From that moment forward, it becomes a rated R horror film. If that. He gets a staple. A fucking stapler. He staples his chest. You're like, ah! He staples his arm. You're like, ah! He gets a fucking kid's art. Staples it to his cheek. Rips it off. staples it to his other side of his cheek, rips it off, staples it to his forehead, rips it off. You're like, what are you doing? And then he starts beating him up. Shane is now crimson mass, bleeding profusely. And you know what Hangman Page decides? He goes, mwah, 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 mwah. I'm thirsty, bitch. Grabs his head and then drinks his blood. Bruh. One of the first times, and I mean this, that's one of the first few times where I've ever just went, okay, that's too much. Nope, stop it. Stop. And I don't do that a lot in wrestling. That was one of those moments where I'm like, okay, that's I don't need to see that. Like, I've seen people lick blood. He put his freaking face underneath his mouth and drunk his blood like a fucking vampire. Like Dracula. That was some Dracula shit. It was Dracula shit, A and B combos. It was Dracula shit, Mr. Unfamiliar. And that wasn't even the only violent thing in the match. We got cylinder blocks. They got a freaking barbed wire steel chair. And then there was a point in the match where Shane gets free. Hangman Page is stapling him. Staple. Shane's not selling it. Staple. Shane doesn't sell it. Staple. He looks like a freaking serial killer. And then Shane gets the stapler, staples Hangman Page's forehead. He goes down immediately. And then Shane starts laughing maniacally like the Joker. And then he starts stapling himself while he's laughing. And I'm like, what? Stop it. That was the second time where I'm like, okay, stop. No, that was the moment where I'm like, okay, Shane, Swerve Strickland, you are him. You are him, Swerve. Because Jesus Christ Almighty, I could never. That's one of those things where you will never pay me enough to get me to do that. You just don't ever get me to do any of that, man. Oh my God, just all kinds of craziness. Hangman Page eventually gets busted open. And then you see Hangman Page do a moonsault with the barbed wire chair across his chest. We see them using real glass, Cry Me a River, real glass on each other. They do a tombstone pile driver through some barbed wire steel chairs. And then there was a point in time when they got a barbed wire table and Hangman Page did one of them fall-away slams off the top rope. There was a fall-away slam off the top rope through a table. And then he just picked his ass up and then did all kinds of crazy stuff. By the way, when Shane Strickland brought in the glass, he did a 450 splash on top of the glass while it was on the back of Hangman Page. And then he did a JM driver on the glass. It's all kinds of violent. It was violent. It got to the point where I was like, okay, look here. I love y'all. Don't kill each other, please. Because one of y'all is about to die. And people in the live chat are saying War Games won't be as violent as this. Hell nah! War Games isn't going to be as violent as this. What you think this is? Even if here's the thing, can I be honest with you? I'm going to be so real with you right now. Even if WWE said for one night, fine, y'all can have blood for one night. Even if they make that decision, ain't no way they can be as violent as this. There ain't no way. It ain't happening. And I mean that. Like, I'm not trying to be a hater when I say that. I just feel like there is literally no way in hell No way possible. Impossible. For them to be as violent as this. The match ends with the man they call Cage, who has history with Hangman Page, coming out, attacking him, and helping Swerve Strickland beat him. Because Swerve Strickland hit him with that cylinder block. And I love this. I love this ending. He got a steel chain, threw the chain over the ropes, tied one end of the chain around Hangman's neck like a noose, and then hung Hangman Page until he passed out. He hung Hangman Page to beat him. Brilliant. Great booking. I'm not even being sarcastic. Give it up for him. Give it up for him. That match, you will never, ever, ever see a match that violent. I don't think we're ever gonna get that. We're never gonna get a match that violent ever again. I think that's it. I think we've reached it. This is the peak. There's no way in hell that AEW does a violent match like that. We'll get more violent matches, but it's not gonna be that violent ever again. That's crazy. That was easily one of the most violent matches I have ever seen in my life. And I've seen some violent ass matches. Violent. And like I told y'all, if WWE said today we're going to be TV 14 for War Games, it still won't come close to it. That's how violent it was. That's incredible. Just incredible stuff. So, match of the night for sure. A match of the year candidate. Let's see where it ends up by the end of the year. Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, the Golden Jets, took on the Young Bucks. Gonna make this short and sweet. Match was awesome. Chris Jericho kept up with all three of them like he was meant to be in the Elite. The entire story is the Young Bucks were trying to cheat. They was working on Chris Jericho's arm throughout the night, and they were trying to cheat a victory out of Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, but to no avail. The Young Bucks couldn't get the job done. Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho win the match and take away the Young Bucks Tag Team Championship opportunity. So Ricky Starks and Big Bill will eventually take on Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. The Young Bucks will not be getting a shot at any tag team titles. After they lost the match, they threw a hissy fit like Chris Jericho used to do. They're angry, they're mad, and it looks like the Elite might be on its way out. That might be it for the Elite, quite frankly. And it should be it for the Elite, because quite frankly, this has run its course. If I'm being honest with you, they've done everything they could possibly do. I'm ready for something different. Do something different now. You've done the Elite for how many years? Like, real talk, how long have they done the Elite? Like since the beginning of time. Do something different now. Do something different. Mix it up. Well, we've reached the end point here. The end game. MJF versus J.Y. Switchblade Jay White. Let me tell you a story, brother. I remember the day, back in the day, when the babyfaces had to fight from underneath, dude. All these heels aren't real heels. The heels back in my day knew how to get heat, brother. To make me look good, brother. And if you didn't make me look good, brother, you being a heel that got cheered, that don't work for me, brother. You being a heel that sold merchandise, that don't work for me, brother. You being a heel that got more TV time and made me look bad, oh, brother, that definitely doesn't make me look good, brother. You know what makes me look good, brother? Me coming out in an ambulance, brother, with my leg wrapped up, limping, with paramedics telling me, no, brother, you can't win, brother. And then I fight from underneath with all the odds, with all the cosmic power. And I go face to face with Jay Switchblade White. And brother, it was hard. But you have to understand, the freedman, the freedster, took his vitamins, said his prayers, did 20,000 push-ups, and then I went in there and fed off the devil maniacs. And I came out on top. And Jay White had one question to ask and one question to answer. What you gonna do? This was a total old school babyface segment. First off, when they had Adam Cole actually make an entrance with his crutches, get inside the ring, staying across, literally across from Jay White, and then they announced the match, and they literally had him do his entrance, and the bell rung, and I'm thinking, there's no way they're gonna do this match. And then MJF showed up in the ambulance, and I'm like, oh, here we go. And then what felt like 2 matches jammed together, because it was a long match. It was long. MJF basically worked the entire match with the injury, and it went a long time. And this was the first and only match where I was looking at my watch and going, damn, this match is going on for a long time. Because I didn't care. You had the freaking Guns interfere. You had Adam Cole trying to help. He was going to throw in the towel. Jay White looking dominant. Jay White, he's looking like he's going to take the belt. And at the end of the day, what ended up happening? MJF, brother. He hulked up. Brother. He maxed up. He maxed out. He didn't hulk up. He maxed out, brother. And he came out on top with that 1, 2, diamond ring, boom. 3, brother. And still, your AEW World Champion, MJF, with the help of Adam Cole and his best friend. No reveal of the devil. Honestly, it's a little too soon to reveal the devil. Way too soon to reveal the devil. We need to wait. Give it some time. Give it a minute. Let the storyline play out. We're going to get the devil eventually. Just not tonight. It'll happen. Give it some time. Give it some space. I promise you, we will see the devil. Actually, I need to tell you guys something. We already saw the devil. You already saw him. I'm not just talking about Maxwell Jacob Freeman either. You saw him. You already saw him. You just don't know it's him. But you will. Yeah, overall, outside of the main event, which was overbooked to all hell, but whatever. I expected that from this type of feud. This was an awesome show. Oh, this show was another AEW banger. Worth the $50. I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad I bought it. I am so happy to have been here to see it. With that being said, give me your thoughts. What did y'all feel about the show? I am going to take a quick visit over to the live chat to see what you all are talking about. But yeah, give me your thoughts. Favorite match of the night, and what would you grade this event 9 out of 10? No, I mean, well, it's 9 out of 10 for me. What would you grade this event 1 out of 10? 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. What grade letter? What would you rank it in terms of numbers? 1 out of 10. Very curious to know what y'all feel about the show. JJ Bulldog says, easily one of the best pay-per-views from AEW. Yeah, it's up there. This entire year has just been crazy in terms of pay-per-views. Darcy Chatham, man, this raspy voice. Man, this raspy voice guy on the media scrum sounds like John Laurinaitis. I was expecting him to yell, "People power!" Not quite him. IWC is going crazy after the event. People are being overdramatic saying Jay White is buried. He is not buried. He was booked to look like a weak heel champ, and he was a weak heel champ. Like I said, the entire show up to the main event was just outstanding. The main event was good, because it was exactly how they booked the show. Shallstar, I don't know if you saw this, Alex, but what were your thoughts on the Grandmaster League refusing? Oh, I'm so glad you asked about this. I did hear about this story. There was a story going around that Grandmaster League refused to do a match on Rampage, I think 2 weeks ago, because he didn't want to lose or put over Commander. That boy said, "Yo, S.A., that don't work for me, S.A." How do you say brother in Spanish? How do you say brother in Spanish? Hold on for a minute. How do you get it right? Brother in Spanish. What was it? Hermano. That don't work for me, hermano. Hermano. That boy said, I ain't doing it. I ain't losing. And Tony Khan said, aight, you're not on the show. Hilarious. Grant Metcalfe thinks he's so important. That's what's funny. Like, these guys go to WWE and think they the They the shiznit when they're really not. They're really not. I'm just like, bro, calm down. Calm your nerves, hermano. But yeah, I did hear about that story. That's hilarious to me. That he actually thought he could brother his way out of the match. And they said, alright, I guess you're not doing the match then. Is Julia Hart the youngest champion in AEW? Is she? Let me see. Julia Hart, AEW. Okay. What's your age? 22. Wait a minute. Is she? Because Maxwell Jacob Friedman is 27. She's 22. Wow, she might be the youngest champion. Good call. Yeah, the Staples. The Staples was crazy. Yeah, and then the Dracula kind of shit. Imagine that. Imagine putting blood in a cup and then drinking it. Oh. No, thank you. I can't do it. JDN says the entire event was a 7 out of 10 because the main event was garbage. He says it was a 9, but then the main event dropped it to a 7 out of 10. Jesus Christ. Oh, it wasn't that bad. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Because I went into it just expecting not to really care, and y'all over here talking about some but. Let's calm down for a minute. Damn. Toni Storm was my pick to win the title, and look what happened. She won. AEW is going to eat nicely for the end of the year awards. I mean, Wrestler of the Year so far is MJF. Spoiler alert. Tag Team of the Year is probably FTR again. I have to think about it for a minute. I mean, it ain't the Usos. Maybe Sammy and KO? Nah, it's gonna be FTR. It's gonna be FTR again, probably. Feud of the Year. Feud of the Year. Feud of the Year. I want to say Adam Cole and MJF, but need to work that out. I don't know. I'm not set on that one. I'm sitting on Feud of the Year. Champion of the Year will probably be Roman Reigns because he did 1,000 days as champ. Although I might give it to MJF too. Who knows? Heel of the Year is MJF. Women. Let me see. Segment of the Year. That one's gonna be rough. I have to go through the segments of the year. Match of the Year. Now that one, Match of the Year. It's an AEW match, number one. But which AEW match, I don't know. That one's gonna be hard. Because you don't just got Swerve and Hangman. You have Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. 2 times. New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestle Kingdom, and then at Forbidden Door. You have freaking MJF versus Bryan Danielson. Iron Man match. One of the best Iron Man matches, if not the best Iron Man match I've ever seen. You have MJF versus Adam Cole. Their first match was freaking outstanding. Crazy match. MJF versus... Shoot, MJF versus a lot of people. He's going to run away with Wrestler of the Year, honestly. He might end up just winning it. In the media scrum, MJF having an emotional moment with Adam Cole was there standing with his crutches, no chair to sit on, and he looked a little pissed. Interesting. Storyline of the Year will probably go to MJF and Adam Cole, that's for sure. I don't know. Like, match of the Year is going to be rough because there's a lot of matches. So I might just leave that up to vote because that's, man, God, there's a lot of great matches this year. We gonna find one. We gonna find a match of the year. We're going to find one. All right, y'all, let me go ahead and get out of here. Thank y'all so much for making me a part of your day. It's late. It's about to be 1 a.m. for me. I've been up here for almost 2 hours talking about this show. And y'all stayed up here with me, and I appreciate that. So, as you file out, do all the YouTube things, like the video, subscribe, and click the bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and Venmo. All right, so this upcoming week is Survivor Series week. Monday Night Raw, so of course, Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown reviews. I will be doing a Dynamite review, but no Collision, no Rampage. We'll just be doing strictly WWE. And then the Survivor Series preview and predictions, I'm probably going to save until Friday. Because I want to wait until all the matches are announced. So we'll do the SmackDown review and then follow it up with the predictions for Survivor Series. And then we'll do next Saturday, which is Survivor Series. Which also, once again, the Super Chat Championship will be on the line. For the final time until next year. Which is the Royal Rumble. But can Franklin Torres hold it for one more night? We'll find out. I'm waiting for a lot of people to show up. Apparently, Trey the God said he's going to show up and donate one of the biggest donations of all time. Can't wait for that one. But it's going to be an exciting week. And I'm excited to be here to talk about it. So thank you all for being here. And please take care of yourselves, because I want to see you next time right here in Alyx's World. A place that is, was, it forever will be a safe space. For wrestling fans, thank you. I love you all. You guys take it easy. Peace.
When you're